In a universe where time loops dictate destiny, Rob Crabb finds himself reliving the same day, burdened by choices that shape not just his life but entire galaxies. As he navigates love, identity, and second chances, he must confront his true desires. Will he break free or remain lost in the cycle? How far would you go to reclaim your authentic self? If you want to dive into real stories of parallel realities every day, in enigmatic, technological worlds that are completely different from our planet, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Well, let's go. In the heart of a bustling, technologically advanced city on the vibrant planet Terra X, a peculiar mix of organic life and technology thrived. Towers of shimmering crystal and metal spiraled into the sky, their reflective surfaces alive with color and energy. Among these structures, Rob Crabb lethargically stirred awake in his sleek, holographic chamber, a prominent innovation reserved for the elite. This chamber, reminiscent of silken cocoons, adjusted its form to cradle him snugly, providing a gentle hum of comfort and familiarity. The walls flickered with iridescent projections of educational data, a symphony of lights cascading over him like a waterfall of knowledge. But today was no ordinary day. It marked the pivotal moment of his ultimate interview for the prestigious University of Georgetown on Earth, the culmination of years of hard work and aspirations. As he dressed in his vibrant, gravity-resistant attire, crafted to defy the conventions of fashion with its dynamic, shifting colors, Rob felt the weight of expectation settle heavily upon his shoulders. Each fabric strand shimmered in response to his mood, depicting an emotional landscape that mirrored his growing anxieties. Familial holograms, shaped like ethereal visions of his parents, whirled around him. Their projections glimmered with hopes for his future, his mother's gentle encouragement, a humble ambition echoing the values of their lineage, and his father's fervent desire to see his son become not just successful, but transformative. These spectral figures reinforced a chain of expectations that entwined around Rob's heart, squeezing tighter with each pulse beat. Rob glanced at the image of his closest friend, Stanley, a figure both eccentric and ingenious, who was notorious for his outlandish inventions. Stanley's wild, tousled hair framed his angular face, a testament to countless experiments gone awry that often left him in an endearing state of disarray. With an insatiable thirst for innovation, he possessed an infectious energy that could light up the dreariest day, yet equally, it could spiral into humorous disasters that left havoc in their wake. His imagination was boundless, and Rob often found himself riding the turbulent waves of Stanley's ideas, with anxious thrill woven through each encounter. Little did Rob know, Stanley's latest contraption, a device purported to enhance cognitive function during high-pressure situations, would soon complicate the already tumultuous day ahead. Outside his hollow chamber, the atmosphere crackled with the dazzling fusion of school culture and intergalactic society. The streets bustled with students clad in eclectic apparel, representative of diverse planets and cultures, each contributing to the rich tapestry of life on Terra X. Rob's heart raced as he maneuvered through the throngs, each face a reminder of the social dynamics that played out in the hallowed halls of Nova High. He felt a palpable twinge of tension whenever his gaze landed on Gabriella. With her raven hair cascading like waterfalls down her back and sharp emerald eyes that glinted with an adventurous spirit, she embodied a celestial allure that both captivated and intimidated him. Gabriella was more than just a classmate, she was a beacon of inspiration and untamed freedom. Known for her fearless nature and athletic prowess in intergalactic sports, her presence often ignited a fire within Rob. Yet, underlying that admiration was a gnawing fear. What could a stammering, anxious teen like him possibly offer to someone as formidable as Gabriella? Meanwhile, Angela wandered in and out of Rob's thoughts, a girl portrayed with an indefinable aura of mystery. With luminous blonde hair that almost seemed to shimmer in the dim school corridors and an enigmatic smile that hinted at secrets left untold, she intrigued him in ways he struggled to articulate. As Rob navigated the maze of colorful lockers and lively chatter, it became strikingly apparent that today bore the weight of monumental decisions. With romance entangled at the forefront of his thoughts, he felt more like a leaf caught in a swirling gust than a confident young adult ready to tackle the possibilities of higher education. He glanced at his wrist, where a sleek hollow watch flickered with reminders of the interview timeline. The clock's relentless countdown echoed his racing heartbeat, each tick amplifying the chaotic melange of anxiety and eager anticipation. Darting through the hallways, he stumbled upon Stanley, who had set up shop in the corner of the main atrium. A kaleidoscope of wires, glowing circuit boards, and peculiar mechanisms surrounded him in a chaotic, yet strangely captivating way. With an enthusiastic wave, Stanley beckoned Rob over, his eyes sparkling with the thrill of sharing the latest in his series of inventions. A cognitive enhancer meant to optimize learning, designed to help Rob shine during his impending interview by enhancing his concentration and mental clarity. "Just wear this neural cap for the next hour," Stanley said, as he placed the peculiar headpiece onto Rob's head. "I promise it'll boost your intellect to intergalactic levels." The device glowed brightly just above Rob's brow, sparking with energy that hummed and buzzed, instantly drowning Rob in a feeling of overwhelming stimulation. As the device pulsed to life, a swirl of colors enveloped Rob's field of vision. Each shade represented a different facet of knowledge, memories flooding his mind with rapid-fire clarity. Suddenly, every lesson, every experience melded into a vibrant tapestry, presenting solutions and information he hadn't fully grasped before. But this heightened awareness came at a cost. Chaotic flashes of anxiety blended into the kaleidoscope, weaving through his thoughts like bolts of sudden lightning, jarring and confusing. Rob wrestled to hold onto the whirlwind of knowledge, each question he'd prepared for his interview. An anxiety-laden excitement rolled through him as he felt inundated with insights, all while reality faded, his intentions began to blur. What would happen if he failed to convey his thoughts clearly? The intrusive voice of self-doubt wondered relentlessly if he could rise to the occasion when push came to shove. As the queasy reality of his situation settled in, Rob forged ahead, excitement and dread twisting within him as he neared his classroom. Eureka Hall, fondly known for its high, domed ceilings adorned with holographic projections of historical galactic events. Imposing sculptures of revolutionary figures from diverse planets surrounded the space, creating an environment that felt both inspiring and intimidating. Just as he entered, he caught a glimpse of Gabriella, her laughter tinkling like chimes, lifting the spirits of those surrounding her. She occupied a corner with a few friends, armed with questions and discussions about their shared future. Yet beside this radiant dynamic, the ominous shadow of Kale loomed nearby, with his broad shoulders and commanding demeanor. The volleyball champion was not only an athlete but also a source of a recent feud that sent waves of tension rippling through Nova High. Rob's presence seemed to irritate him further, adding layers to the school's social uncertainty. Each jab from Kale felt sharper, a constant reminder of Rob's insecurities. Within the hallowed corridors of Nova High, a school renowned not only for its academic prowess but also its manipulation of space-time calculus, Rob Crabb felt the weight of expectation pressing down on him. Each day there was a montage of brilliance and chaos, but today marked a climax unlike any he had ever experienced. The fluorescent beams of light, sculpted into shimmering shapes above him, flickered like celestial bodies, reminding him of the exhilarating yet perilous nature of his teenage existence. As Rob walked toward the main atrium, He couldn't shake off the feeling that unseen eyes scrutinized his every move. The ambience was charged, a swirling energy of teenage angst and ambition. He glanced at his well-trodden path lit by the pulsating holograms that acted as guides. Each digital projection displayed motivational quotes from renowned figures across the universe, their words mingling in a cacophony that seemed to resonate within him. Yet, no aphorism could quell the storm brewing in his heart. At lunch, the cafeteria buzzed with students from various galaxies, each immersed in conversation, painting the air with sounds and colors unique to their origins. Quadrosians, tall and slender with shimmering skin that shifted hues, exchanged gossip in melodious tones, their elongated limbs gracefully articulating every gesture. Nearby, a group of Venusian twins strategized over their latest space game, their swirling patterns of ethereal hair tying them together in a mesmerizing dance. Yet, in this vibrant melange, Rob felt adrift. He spotted Gabriella at a corner table, the sunlight filtering through metallic vines that adorned the walls and illuminating her soft, yet determined features. Gabriella was a bright spark in his otherwise tumultuous life. She had the enviable ability to infuse light into even the darkest moments with her infectious smile and adventurous spirit. As she animatedly recounted her escapade in the neighboring nebula, the room's energy seemed to pulsate with her enthusiasm. Rob longed to muster the courage to join her but felt a looming uncertainty close in around him, intensified by the robust laughter of Kale. A towering figure of charisma, adorned with the medals of his recent athletic feats. Kale had a reputation for effortlessly dominating every competition, and though undeniably skilled, his relentless teasing dug deep into Rob's insecurities. Today was no exception. As Kale swaggered over to Gabriella's table, he thrust a volleyball skyward, its trajectory a perfect arc before descending toward Rob like an inevitable fate. The ball struck Rob squarely in the chest. The cafeteria erupted into laughter, and the pulsating lights above seemed to dim as if the very universe sympathized with his embarrassment. "Catch," Kale taunted, with a carefree smirk that displayed no hint of remorse. Rob could feel the heat rush to his cheeks as he bent to retrieve the offending object, his inner turmoil intensifying with each chuckle that filled the air. It seemed as if the cosmos itself conspired against him, trapping him deeper within his spiraling self-doubt. Meanwhile, Angela watched from the periphery, her captivating presence as magnetic as a black hole. She was enigmatic, with an air of mystery that left an imprint of curiosity in the hearts of those who encountered her. Angela's long, flowing hair shimmered as if infused with stardust, and her eyes, a tempestuous blend of azure and emerald, felt as if they could perceive the very fabric of time. She often cloaked herself in shadows, preferring the unseen to the spotlight. However, Rob noticed that occasionally those piercing eyes would fixate on him, leaving him bewildered yet excited. As a wave of chatter swept through the cafeteria, Rob felt the weight of emotional tides pulling him in multiple directions. Gabriella's laughter rang out like a melody, but the stirring silence surrounding Angela spoke volumes. Both pulled him, a tug-of-war of affections that only deepened his internal conflict. Each glance from Gabriella warned him, yet the allure of Angela's mystery haunted him in a way he couldn't ignore. The hours passed in an agonizing stretch, where every moment seemed laden with expectation. On the surface, he maintained a facade of casual indifference, but inside he wrestled with the dilemma of choosing between the vivacious Gabriella, who represented the safety of camaraderie and friendship, or the enigmatic Angela, whose allure was like a gravitational pull that beckoned his desire for the unknown. As evening descended and the stars flickered to life, Rob found himself wandering the luminescent pathways of the school, not aimless, but searching for clarity amid the chaos of his feelings. The school, a brilliant marvel of engineering and artistry, offered quiet alcoves adorned with bioluminescent flora from distant planets. In contrast to the ethereal beauty surrounding him, Rob felt cordoned off from the joy of connection, grappling with the heart's ethical quandary. Was it right to pursue one relationship while harboring feelings for another? Determined to confront his feelings, Rob found himself drawn to a secluded observatory nestled atop the school, a place where students often gazed at the stars in search of inspiration. The panoramic view framed the vast expanse of space, dotted with countless galaxies swirling in kaleidoscopic colors. Each star flickered like a beacon of hope, teasing at the possibility of choices yet to be made. Here, Rob felt a brief respite from the clamor of emotions swallowing him whole. However, that solace was short-lived. As he leaned against the polished glass, flanked by lush vegetation that hummed softly, his reflection revealed a young man torn between two worlds. The weight of potential rejection draped over him like an anchor. If only he could decipher the tangled web of his heart. The duality of choice and consequence weighed heavily upon his conscience. That moment crystallized a universal truth. Love, in all its complex forms, was never merely a choice, but an intricate tapestry of connections, emotions, and ethical dilemmas. As night deepened, the galaxy outside thrummed with cosmic whispers, hinting at adventures yet to unfold. Each twinkling star whispered secrets of adventure and possibility. It was within this tapestry of shimmering possibilities that Rob for the first time felt the brimming potential for something new, a spark igniting within him that he could no longer ignore. Rob returned to the ground, navigating the labyrinth of halls with a sense of urgency swelling within him. He needed to crystallize his emotions, yet the oppressive weight of doubt accompanied him like a specter. He glimpsed passing students laughing and sharing fragments of their lives, witnessing interactions that seemed fluent and natural. A sense of longing washed over him, a visceral need to belong, to matter. As he approached the atrium where Gabriella's vibrant laughter resonated, Rob's heart raced, caught in a tempest of conflicting emotions. Before he could halt the monologue of anxieties swirling inside him, he noticed Kale, his presence disruptive and magnetic, inadvertently poised between his path and Gabriella. In the sprawling tapestry of the cosmos, where time rarely adhered to predictable patterns, Rob Crabb found himself ensnared in an infinite cycle of paradoxes. The peculiarities of his existence had begun to unfold in extraordinary ways, manifesting in a choreographed dance of embarrassment and resilience. Each sunlit morning introduced a new dawn, yet for Rob, each day bore the weight of unchanging familiarity, like a weary record player stuck on the same groove. When the phenomenon struck during an ordinary interdimensional theory class, it caught everyone by surprise. The qualified instructor, Professor Spinner, a tall and wiry figure with a shock of white hair that danced in artificial breezes, had been showcasing the latest in temporal mechanics, a technology designed to navigate through time with finesse. Rob leaned forward, his attention riveted on the holographic stars swirling behind the professor as he passionately demonstrated the manipulation of alternate timelines, unaware that his world was soon to spiral into chaos. The bright flash that enveloped Rob was unlike anything he had ever experienced. It felt as though the fabric of reality shredded before him, folding in on itself until he was cast deep within a swirling void, a vortex that played tricks on his senses. Suddenly, he landed back in his bed in the holographic chamber, the glowing walls casting soft, ethereal light that felt like a mockery of normalcy. The diurnal patterns resumed without a hitch, marking the start of a day that had already gripped him in a vice-like hold. As the day unfolded anew, every slight annoyance and missed chance echoed with an eerie sense of familiarity. He greeted his friends, Stanley and Gabriella, and faced Angela, the ethereal presence that seemed to loom larger each time the day reset. Each interaction harbored the same tension, a déjà vu that gripped Rob like a hand tightening around his throat. He could feel his heart race, knocking against his ribcage with the urgency of a time bomb. Each time he stuttered over his words or failed to express his interest, a flicker of frustration crackled like static in the air, igniting the same anxious spiral. Rob was aware of the familiar reactions. Stanley's enthusiastic chuckle that trailed behind any awkward joke and Gabriella's hopeful smiles that felt both warm and distant. Each iteration left him desperately trying to grasp the fleeting opportunity to alter his fate, to escape the gravitational pull of his own indecision. Yet, like shadows in a kaleidoscope, every day melted into the next, leaving echoes of disappointments in their wake. As part of an all-out quest to escape this temporal entrapment, Rob wrestled with the looming question. What was the core of this loop? His friends, devoted as they were, became a catalyst for introspection over the nebulous nature of his life. With each reset, he pondered the decisions he took, probing his motives, proximity to failure, and the paralyzing fear that anchored him to indecision. The cosmic riddle transformed his mundane existence into a crucible of self-examination that ignited both agony and clarity. One fateful iteration saw him sitting with Gabriella in the pulsating neuro nexus, a vibrant hub where students exchanged ideas amid swirling holograms of intelligence. The faint, sweet aroma of solar fruit crepes surrounded them, but he barely noticed. The undercurrents of his lifetime's longing showcased themselves as he wrestled with unspoken words. The glowing orbs of luminescent energy arched above them, flickering with every heartbeat, a vivid representation of his insecurities. Each time he tried to express his feelings, they coiled in his throat, heavy and stubborn. This cosmic facade of vibrancy concealed the looming dread of personal relationships gone wrong, the interplay of intense emotions, the insecurity of youth, and the inherent human desire for connection. The ethical burden of these emotions pounced on Rob like a predator awaiting its prey. Could he sacrifice the amicable connections of friendship for a shot at something deeper? Was it worth jeopardizing the camaraderie he had always held dear? As days passed, the once unbearable embarrassment faded into a resigned acceptance of the unfurling chaos around him. Conversations with Stanley morphed into philosophical dialogues on choice, chance, and consequences. Stanley, with his scruffy dark hair and oversized glasses, radiated the kind of curiosity that could bridge entire universes. His passion for invention often tumbled him into complicated situations, like today, where he crafted a miniature wormhole generator that malfunctioned spectacularly on their last attempt. Rob considered how each error was an echo. In this bizarre timeline, perfection felt like an illusion he continuously chased, yet never lived. Gradually, the wonder of creation mixed with the fear associated with the unknown began to weave the fabric of Rob's understanding. Each moment in this temporal purgatory held the potential to unlock a different nuance of their interactions. Yet, in the swirling mists of missed opportunities, the way forward remained obscured. A multitude of choices blended into each day, creating a cacophony wherein the echoes of his desires reverberated. How many times could one face the same regrets before surrendering to despair? Was fear of emotional vulnerability enough to sabotage budding possibilities? The climax emerged on a day unlike any other. A day when the cosmos aligned in unearthly patterns across the skies, and the gravitational waves pulsed almost palpably. Rob, awash in uncertainty, propelled himself towards Gabriella, the one solitary beacon of courage illuminating his haze. Emotions burgeoned within him, requiring expression. The tension hung thick in the air, A breath of fate stretched to the brink as he sensed the depths of his feelings could reshape the course of the universe itself. But as he reached out, poised to shatter the chains locking him in repeated embarrassment, another shadow loomed. Angela, her presence a tempest of skepticism and science that beckoned to disrupt Rob's emotional tide. Her striking blue hair cascaded elegantly as she stepped forward, sharply aware of the turmoil unwinding in the air around them. Would he falter in the spotlight of this confrontation, entangled in regrets anew? Outside, the stars winked knowingly in their vast serenity, unyielding and vast, a reminder of the almost infinite paths unfurling before him. Rob took a deep breath, heart racing as the cosmic energies surged through him. Would there finally be clarity in his cosmic web of indecision, or would he remain lost in the labyrinth of emotions, forever on the precipice of revelation? Ultimately, the answer hung suspended, elusive like the stars themselves, just out of reach, as the familiar pulse of the universe beckoned him toward an uncertain tomorrow. Rob stood at the precipice of the unknown, the shimmering light of the cosmic event horizon casting a surreal glow around him. Beneath this swirling display of colors, now pulsating and intertwining like the emotions raging within him, he felt time itself holding its breath. He had arrived here, at this critical juncture, amid the pulsating energies that bled into their reality, where every decision echoed through the fabric of the cosmos. The atmosphere buzzed with electric tension, a soundtrack of chaos that no one else seemed to recognize. The distant murmurs of laughter from students enjoying the grandeur of the event felt like a hollow backdrop to Rob's inner turmoil. Here he was, faced with what he had almost instinctively avoided, the torrent of his true feelings toward Gabriella. Her laughter floated through the air, vibrant and full of life, mingling with the fragrant aroma of alien flora brought in from trade agreements with neighboring star systems. Yet even as the petals of luminous flowers swayed in the wind, beckoning him forward, he felt the weight of expectation tethering him to the ground. Glimpses of Angela flashed through his mind, sharp and demanding like the cool steel of a dagger. Wherever Rob found a moment with Gabriella, Angela's presence loomed like a shadow, playing on his fears and insecurities. She was beautiful, witty, and a part of him felt the urgency to confront this anxiety before it spiraled out of control again. But as swift-footed as Rob was in day-to-day life, he was paralyzed here, locked in the turmoil of choices never made. Standing before Gabriella, her raven black hair contrasted sharply against the cascading hues of the cosmic display behind her. Her eyes, like twin stars, sparkled with excitement, yet he caught a flicker of uncertainty behind them as well. "What's wrong?" she asked, her voice smooth but tinged with concern, cutting through the chaotic noise surrounding them. The world seemed to pause, drawing air into its lungs, all eyes echoing the unsaid tension. The conflict within Rob erupted. The cosmic convergence around them mirrored his inner battle. It was a chaotic dance of uncertainty that threatened to consume him whole. His heart slammed against his ribcage as he opened his mouth to speak, yet words stumbled on the tip of his tongue like the first footprints on foreign soil. How could he articulate the depth of his feelings when everything inside him throbbed in confusion? Just as he gathered enough courage to admit his emotions, the shouting and laughter erupted. Angela, flanked by a troop of her closest friends, made her entrance. Dressed in an outfit that glowed as brightly as her personality, she approached, radiating an intensity that could suck the air out of a room. "There you are," she exclaimed, her voice bright but with an edge that demanded attention. "I've been looking for you." Rob's stomach twisted. Her arrival was like a dark cloud blocking the sun, spiraling his momentum into a precarious balance. The tension thickened, and Rob felt as if the universe held a magnifying glass over his inner conflict. The lines of rivalry between Angela and Gabriella blurred in that moment, feelings tangled in a web more complex than he could have imagined. "Did you get a good look at that nebula?" Angela continued, not even glancing at Gabriella. "I think it might be the brightest we've seen this season." Her enthusiasm sparkled, but Rob could sense the underlying competition. Gabriella's expression shifted, a momentary flinch belying the calm she usually projected. She was more than just the spirited girl he adored. She was also an intellectual force, passionately interested in astrophysics and anything related to the cosmos. "Actually, it's a rare occurrence," Gabriella began, but Rob cut her off. "Guys, please." His voice steadied, though a storm of emotions raged beneath. The fear of losing either girl was bewildering, as conflicting feelings of attraction and friendship collided. "This isn't about a nebula or a party. It's about—" He paused, the echo of unsaid truths vibrating in his chest, desperate to break free. Yet the adaptive hesitation in his tone seemed to resonate like a ripple through the air, giving Angela the opening she needed. "It's about what, exactly? Are you going to just stand there while we all enjoy this cosmic spectacle? Grab this moment, Rob. You do like a little spotlight, don't you?" she teased, her laughter slicing through the gravity of the situation. The sense of urgency heightened as he felt a rush of indignation surging through him. Despite the chaos, despite Angela's feigned ease, it became remarkably clear. Alliances and adversities weren't based strictly on romantic pursuits. They traced their roots into the very essence of personal truths unexamined. Each choice defined them, and the stakes grew as everyone around hovered in anticipation of his revelation. Rob's thoughts started unraveling, weaving through the ethical labyrinth of his dilemmas. The world had taught him to weigh words carefully, to hide weaknesses. But exposing oneself, unveiling true desires, posed a danger more profound than any potential rejection. The personas crafted were all illusions constructed to fit social expectations, and the echoes of sacrifice rang heavily with the weight of potential disruption. The very nature of authentic connection lay in vulnerability, but what if that authenticity translated to irreversible devastation? Voices of caution warned him of potential rifts, of fractured friendships. Yet, the hollow feeling that had anchored his heart for far too long throbbed for change. "Rob, come on. Everyone's watching." Angela's prodding snapped him back from the reverie. Outside, the myriad colors danced frantically as their core collided, just like the chaos raging within him. As if an unyielding force had gripped his heart, Rob turned sharply towards Gabriella. The flickers of courage ignited into a roaring blaze, defying the dissonance around him. "I need to tell you both something important." The world seemed to shift, the air electrified by his willingness to strip bare the very essence of his true self. Whatever the outcome, the burst of authenticity clawed its way to the surface. It slashed through the ties that bound his emotions in silence. He knew the risk. He felt his heart constrict under the sheer weight of the impending moment. But before he could voice his truths, an ear-splitting crack interrupted the atmosphere. The event horizon behind them imploded, the resulting brilliance illuminating the entire space. A cataclysmic cascade of light and energy, shrouded in uncertainty. As the both girls recoiled in shock, Rob stood frozen. Whether the eruption foreshadowed an unrecoverable change or a serendipitous escape remained hidden amidst the brilliant chaos. Clarity blinked dangerously close but eluded him entirely as the light swallowed everything. Rob's heart raced amid the cosmic ballet of chaos, the possibilities of bright destinies tangled with dark uncertainties. As the last remnants of the chaotic time loop dissolved, Rob stood enveloped in a tapestry of shimmering lights. The once tumultuous energy crackled around him as if the very universe was responding to his newfound clarity. Gone were the chains of repetition and self-doubt, replaced by a sense of liberation that lent him strength. The colors of the cosmos, vibrant and alive, reflected the emotions swirling within him, the hues echoing the heartbeat of his surroundings. In that exhilarating moment, he grasped the profound truth that had eluded him for so long. Each individual is a flicker in the vast expanse of existence, yet every choice holds the power to alter the very fabric of one's reality. Rob felt the weight of that understanding. The cycles of time were not something to fear but a means of forging deeper connections with those who matter most. Gone were the fears of judgment and paralysis stemming from indecision, now replaced by a fierce desire to align his heart with the truth of who he was. With each beat of his heart, he turned towards Gabriella, her figure illuminated in the cascade of starlight. Her eyes reflected a universe of possibility, and he sensed a profound yearning simulating within her, just waiting for him to bridge the distance. The initial hesitation that had once gripped him began to dissipate as he stepped forward. The air buzzed with anticipation, a sensation as electric as the energy that had encircled him amidst the anomaly. He felt small and insignificant against the backdrop of infinity, yet the very insignificance was what gave him strength. Mindful of every moment, Rob relayed his truth with reverence. With a voice steady yet tinged with vulnerability, he spoke of the love that bloomed from their shared journeys, the genuine connection he had discovered amidst the chaos. Each word transformed the space between them, turning the ethereal realm into a place of openness and wonder. As if in response to his sincerity, the cosmic lights above shifted, taking on a new rhythm, one that mirrored the beating of their hearts. Spectral formations spiraled and twirled, colors blending, revealing constellations of destiny that had yet to be written. Time, once an adversary, had become a collaborator in their journey. Their hearts danced with the echoes of shared moments, hopes kindling under the celestial sky. Gabriella's expression shifted from uncertainty to revelation as she absorbed his words, her eyes shimmering with something deeper, a reflection of their intertwined experiences. In that spellbinding instant, they were not just two individuals adrift in a vast galaxy. They were explorers paving a path defined by their choices, courageous souls ready to craft new realities together. Yet amid the dawning warmth of connection, the shadows of the past loomed, echoes of their former selves, haunted by fear and uncertainty. The remnants of lost chances flickered in the recesses of Rob's mind, a reminder that life wasn't merely a series of opportunities. It was the interplay of emotions, decisions, and the courage to emerge whole from each encounter. Uneasiness began to swell within him again as he deciphered the balance of vulnerability and strength. But rather than retreat, he leaned into it, acknowledging the complexity of his journey. He understood that merely breaking free of the past didn't mean erasing it, it was about transcending it. With Gabriella standing before him, he embraced the possibility of creating something extraordinary, unearthing the potential of an unconditional bond rooted in authenticity. A sudden burst of energy cascaded around them, an interstellar spectacle of iridescent waves and spiraling confetti exploded in the cosmic skies. The universe responded to their union with a celebratory dance of lights, affirming the depth of the connection blooming between them. In that beautiful moment, Rob grasped that together they could traverse the labyrinth of existence. Love wasn't a simple answer but a shared exploration, a sacred bond to navigate with compassion and authenticity. With each pulse of the universe, Rob dared to envision the future. A myriad of experiences yet to unfold, of encounters and challenges they would tackle together. He saw them charting expansive courses among the stars, visiting distant planets, experiencing an otherworldly tapestry of cultures and customs that awaited them in the uncharted realms of the cosmos. The future, once a nebulous uncertainty, was now filled with promise, beckoning them with a kaleidoscope of colors, emotions, and adventures. There was, however, an intrinsic weight to this realization, a foreboding sense that their newfound freedom would not shield them from adversity. The cosmos was as fierce as it was beautiful, filled with mysteries yet to unravel. Rob understood that while he shattered his loop, the universe still held secrets of its own, many of which they would undoubtedly encounter on their journey. The idea both thrilled and terrified him. In the backdrop, remnants of past experiences and choices lingered, portraits of lessons learned in the crucible of time. Mistakes would continue to mirror the complexities of existence, and the dance would persist. Yet, the fears that once loomed became familiar companions, no longer adversaries. Armed with the knowledge that every stumble was a stepping stone towards greater understanding, he felt fortified. He was no longer a mere participant, he was a co-creator of his fate, crafted by luminescence and shadow alike. As Gabriella stepped forward, her essence resonating with an alluring glow, Rob felt the universe shift beneath them, creating space for this bond of genuine connection. They were poised at a turning point, two explorers prepared to traverse the great unknown side by side, with love as their compass. The stars above twinkled in delight, a testament to their choice to embrace the complexities of existence. Their shared understanding radiated like a beacon in the void, effortlessly navigating through the cosmos they had yet to discover. Time, no longer their enemy, morphed into a thrilling expanse of infinite potential awaiting exploration. And so, as the lights swirled above them, painting stories in hues of glowing nebulae, a realization dawned. Rob would cherish and embrace every moment as it came. The resolution they had reached was not an endpoint, it was an invitation to flourish amidst the boundless adventures the universe had mapped out for them. In that silent agreement, with love as their guide, they were prepared to transcend the boundaries of perception. And as they both took a breath, not just as individuals but as two halves of a continuously unfolding whole, a vibrant new chapter emerged from the silence of cosmic possibilities. The mystery was now theirs to unravel together, no longer lost among the stars, but rather finding their place within the vast grandeur of it all. In the heart of uncertainty lay freedom, and with their hearts alight with new purpose and possibilities, they stepped into a beautifully entwined future, ready to embrace whatever awaited. If you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.